Are you ready to go around the world? Sit back, relax, and buckle your seatbelt as we take off for an adventure. It's jet-lag free but filled full of fun and travel insights. The only thing you'll need to pack is a sense of humor. Time for the award-winning travel show, Around the World.
Hi! Hey, we're back here on Around the World, and welcome to another edition. I'm Arthur von Wiesenberger, the lovely Rebecca Brand in the studio.
Hi.
As we're ready to go fly across the globe. And by the way,
many places today, Arthur.
If this young lady looks familiar, that's because you've been watching Adult Swim, because Rebecca Brand is a fixture on Adult Swim, and you're going to be doing more things, right?
Yes, I just got a show called Dialing for Dollars. It's a live show, and it starts May 7th for a week, and I go on 5 o'clock. And you can go on my Facebook or my website, and it'll be announced on where you can watch it wherever you are in the world.
Can we call you and get some dollars?
So guess what? Everybody that's watching this is able to follow the directions as I give them on the show about how to text me your phone number, and you might win $500. And then the jackpot keeps going. So it's really fun. I call you and I say, hey, you watching? You say, yes, I'm watching. And then you can win.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
Sounds like a lot
starting
of fun.
May 7th.
Wow. Can't wait. All right, well, we have a great show for you today. We've got some wonderful guests that are going to take us all over the globe. First up, Audacina Ryan, who is the owner and publisher of Santa Barbara Life and Style magazine, a gorgeous publication that you can see online, and it takes you away because there's all kinds of great things from health and fitness to travel, which is why we're going to be talking with her about some great spots to go to, including Ojai and also Napa Valley. Just can't wait. Then we're going to move along. Jeff Grief is going to join us. He is the travel therapist. He will come and tell you if you have some issues, you're trying to figure out, what do I do?
I have many issues, and some of them are in the travel realm.
He will help distill down where you should go. And he himself is something of a miracle because he was a 250-pound guy, and he managed to lose enough weight down to 175 while traveling.
Oh, well, that is awesome.
I guess he was carrying a big backpack. I don't know how he did it, but we're going to find out about that.
That's wonderful.
And also his website, which is travelsquire.com. Then you have a big surprise for us, don't you? We're going to take us south of the border.
Mexico. I just went, and I got to tell you how to go. I went to Oaxaca, Mexico for art and wine. That was the purpose of my trip. And I went all over the place, and it was amazing. It was beautiful, and it was out in the countryside. So, we're going to talk about that.
And you have a video. You have some stuff you're going to show us.
I took a video.
It's going to be show and tell here. And then finally, we're going to take you overseas to Switzerland, one of our favorite destinations here around the world, to Laukerbad, which is also known as Loche-les-Bains, if you want to speak French. It's in the Valais canton of Switzerland, and what it's famous for is its water. It has natural hot mineral water that comes pouring out of the mountains.
For the body, or can you drink it?
Both.
Wow.
And they have these fabulous baths and massage and food to kind of go with all the healthy water, and it's a beautiful spot.
Arthur is one of the experts in the world about water. You may not know this, but he runs this wonderful water competition in Berkeley Springs,
which
I had the
and
pleasure
you've been a
of
judge.
checking out. And
right.
Yes, the spring water, so you know all about that. I can't wait for that. How exciting.
We'll be getting immersed in hot water here on Around the World, as we do every week. But first, it's time for travel news, and travel news is brought to you by the internet website, www.atw.tv. The first place to go, even to visit.
The last place on earth.
There you go. You did that right. Good. All righty. You got some news for us, don't you, about a cute couple.
This is so much fun. There is this couple who prank each other whenever either one of them gets off the airplane into the gates. You know, they have little limo drivers, and they've got the little signs, and all these little signs, and people are waiting. You know, I don't know who are they waiting for? Maybe somebody famous and all this. Well, they put up these crazy signs that, like for instance, they joke each other. Like, oh yes, oh, I'm glad we're getting married. My cousin, it's not going to be too awkward. I mean, it's just crazy stuff. It's like, oh, you're married, your cousin. Just the funniest signs. Some of them are.
And these people are down in Australia, aren't they?
Even though we're cousins, I still want to get married, is what the sign says. And the people around them are like, And they're from, what Arthur?
Somewhere down in Australia, and I think one
they're
of the
from
issues
Australia.
is they live far apart from each other, so they have to travel a lot by airplane to get to one another, and this has been the way to really keep each other on the toes.
So one of them came back from Thailand and came back and then says, "Oh, welcome back, those implants." And he's putting two big balloons on his down area as if that was it. But he draws hers like it's upstairs, and it's like, oh, really now? And so everybody on the plane is going to be going, checking her out.
Okay.
A little embarrassing. But I just love that story. I think it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, they seem like they're a happy couple.
It's
Hopefully,
Robin and Corinne.
this sense of humor will carry on into their marriage, because as many of you know, you've got to have a sense of humor when you're married.
And I think we all need to adopt this, because Arthur, next time you come back from a trip, I'm going to do this to you. I might prank you.
Oh,
so
great.
you're forewarned.
Right. All right. Well, I have a little quiz for you, Rebecca. This is from CNN Travel.
Pop quiz.
All right. Now, there's a lot of things about flying that you may or may not know. Like, for example, when you get on board an aircraft, and you notice the flight attendant, what we used to call the stewardess, will greet you. But at the same time, they're also analyzing you. In a very brief second, they're making sure you're not drunk. They want to make sure that you're not.
I did not know this, Arthur. I'm getting anxiety. Where's that therapist you're talking about?
They're curious about. They want to see if you speak English, for example, in case they need you in an emergency.
Okay.
And that if you're able-bodied. That's all stuff that they register, just so they know in case.
Really? That's a lot of.
Who knew that?
Wonderful.
Who knew that?
How perceptive and safe that they're making us by sizing us all up.
Speaking
they
of
would
safe.
know not to call on me. She's the crazy one in row 3.
Speaking of safe, and we've all sort of gone through a horrible thing that Southwest had the other day about airline travel, and we kind of think, well, how safe is flying? Well, actually, flying is very safe. It's so much safer than driving. You'd never want to drive if you knew the odds. What do you think those odds are? A fatal motor accident will happen, what? 1 in how many? Pick a number.
In accidents, how many are fatal?
Yeah, how many?
Oh, well, probably 1 in 500,000.
How about 1 in 98?
1 in 98 auto crashes are fatal?
Yeah. That's
Oh,
scary.
that's scary.
I'm going to walk home. Now, the odds of being in an air crash, which is fatal, is what? What do you think?
The odds of being in a fatal air crash?
Yeah. In your entire life.
1 out of 2.
In your entire life.
Entire life. Okay, I'm not understanding the statistic. Can you explain it?
It's 1 out of 7,178. In other words, it's infinitesimal, the chance of you being in a failed airplane crash.
Great.
Flying through the rest of your life.
That's really good to
So
know.
is that good news? Okay, that's good news. How about better news? Wonder why they dim the lights in an aircraft when they're taking off or landing? Have you ever wondered?
Keep the babies lulled so they go to sleep.
No, it's actually because you're not going to like this part. It's actually because takeoff and landing are the two most dangerous times of flying. And
Well, I knew that.
So the idea by dimming the lights is, should there be a problem, you'll be able to see the illuminated lights that go on when you've got to evacuate the airplane.
Well, that's kind of creepy.
I know, but that's the way it goes. That's how it goes. Where's the safest place to sit on an airplane?
Probably by the exit window.
No, there's a
Right?
section of the airplane. Maybe the exit window, is probably up there, but no, the safest.
front.
No, is in the middle rear part of the aircraft. That's where in fatal crashes where people have died, that part of the tail part of the plane has been where people walked away.
So when you want to complain because your view is only the wing and behind the wing, and that's your forward view from the window, then you're lucky because that's the safest part of the airplanes. You can look at that as a positive benefit from being kind of towards the bathroom.
Yeah. Now, yeah, that's right. Maybe they should make that first class back there. In the old days in DC-3s, first class was the back of the plane. And
Okay.
economy was up front near the pilots. Isn't that weird?
Wow.
Now, here's a question for you. You just came back from Mexico. Did you have a drink or two on the plane?
No.
You didn't have a cocktail?
No, I saved it all for when I was in
All right.
Mexico.
Well, when you do fly and you get those cute little mini bottles.
Yeah, I love those. They're cute.
Yeah, aren't they cute?
Yeah.
How drunk can you get on a
One of
plane?
those- Would that be 1 shot or 2 shots per bottle?
Depends on the size of that little mini bottle.
Well, they're like this.
Yeah,
you
they're
know
small.
them. Come on, you should know this. You were in the bar business. Come on, Arthur.
Well, one of those I think is just one serving. That's one serving.
Okay.
So
That's that 0.8.
I don't know. I don't got my points, but would you? How much do you think you can drink on a plane? Can you get drunk on a plane?
Oh yeah, I say,
Yeah.
could I have 2, please? Because you
Yeah.
don't go too far.
Do you know that it's illegal Yeah, it's illegal to be drunk on an airplane. And in fact, it's illegal for a steward
We need
to serve
comments
you.
on that. I mean, my
To
goodness.
serve you alcohol if you're drunk. Yeah. You can get up to a 2-year sentence for the criminal offense of being drunk on an airplane. Who knew?
You know what? I don't think anybody knew that.
I think that
because
puts a
I think
damper
sometimes
on.
that's the point. You're starting your vacation. Let's go
Yeah.
enjoy this, and then take a nap.
Well, listen,
it could be a 10-hour flight.
I've seen people who don't travel very well, and they are already drunk at the
When they
bar
get
before
in
they
the
get on the
plane.
plane. You know, yoo-hoo. Anyway, apparently it's not legal in case you ever run into a problem. And finally, you're going to love this. How clean are those in-flight blankets and pillows? You know, the ones you curl
Well,
up
don't
to?
they come in plastic usually?
Yeah.
I would assume that they're quite clean.
Well, they're not as bad as the tray tables. You know those tray tables?
And
Anybody
I put
who
my cookie on.
Yeah,
until
no,
I take
no,
the
no.
next bite.
What you really want to do is bring handy wipes when you get on that plane.
Okay.
Clean your tray table.
I
and
have
clean
I
your
have a
armrest.
complaint to register, Arthur.
Yes.
These people in like business class brought their silly handy wipes, and it stunk up the whole plane because I had to smell antiseptic handy wipes. I was gonna die because I was all contained in this. The first thing to do is a handy wipes. The doors closed. There's no engine, no air. So I don't know. I think there's a better way. Just saying.
You're just saying,
Just
huh? They do repackage those, headphones and the pillows in plastic and the thing, but for the most part, they don't get washed. Even in coach class, it's more likely to find fresh blankets on the early morning flights than in the afternoon
I
flights
think they should bring
they fold them back up and put them back
unscented
up there.
packets. Then that's just my vote. Unscented packets and pass them out to everybody. We can clean our own.
I'm fine with my
I
handy
think we need
wipes.
to get on the show. I guess we're like that. Okay.
Okay, is that it? Okay, well that wraps up for Travel News. Again, Travel
Stay
News is brought to
with
you by
us.
the internet website, www.atw.tv, the first place to go, even if it's the last place on earth. We're going to take a break. When we come back, Odyssey and Ryan is going to take us on the road. We'll be right back.
I'm sorry.
We are back here on Around the World. I'm Arthur von Wiesenberger, Rebecca Brand in the co-pilot seat on this week's show as we go across the globe. And one of our first places we're going is just in our own backyard, right here in Santa Barbara, California.
Because really, what a destination.
It is a great destination. And there is a magazine that's come out called Santa Barbara Life and Style Magazine. It's a beautiful edition of what's happening around Santa Barbara and its environments. And the publisher and owner of Santa Barbara Magazine, the Santa Barbara Life and Style Magazine, Odyssey Ryan is with us. Hi, Odyssey.
Hi, Arthur.
So nice to have you with us. And I was looking at your magazine online, and I just fell in love with what I saw. You've really captured the very essence of the high style of Santa Barbara. Was that your goal?
Thank you. Yes, definitely.
I mean, what launched you into getting into the magazine business? Isn't that kind of a challenge these days?
Yes, it is. It actually started as an online magazine and we took it to print. Mm-hmm. But, it's like, who doesn't love beautiful photos and stories about travel and fashion and, all restaurants and whatnot that Santa Barbara has to offer.
So you've kind of focused on the best of Santa Barbara.
Yes.
And there's so much here. I think we sort of take it for granted, but when you live here, but for people who haven't been to Santa Barbara, there's a wealth of information. And actually for folks who do live here, I learned things I didn't know about from your magazine. How many editions have you produced so far?
Oh my gosh, we're starting our 5th year.
Wow.
Wow.
It's been around quite a
And
while
how
now.
are you targeting tourists coming to the area or locals with things, or what audience are you at?
Both, definitely. Like, locals love it, because you always discover new things and you get to I haven't been to this restaurant in a while, or this restaurant's new. And also there's so many travel articles. So locals, obviously everyone here loves to travel.
Yeah.
And
hikes and all the things
Yes.
to do, even if you're local or you're touring.
yes,
You might want to do
and
both.
then also tourists, because we have magazines in all the high-end hotel rooms, that sort of thing. So.
Mm-hmm. I think when I read through the publication, it makes me want to go and eat things, try things. you do a nice thing about health and fitness and wellness, which is very much a Santa Barbara lifestyle. And probably eating healthfully is a big part of a lot of people who live here, because we're trying to stay in shape and young. Who knew that I was 110? You didn't know that, did you? But how did you kind of zero in on those sectors? Because it really seems like you have these very defined sections of the publication.
I'd say we focus on the sections that most people in Santa Barbara are very interested in. Like, obviously, it's a very wellness-focused community. And, you know, a lot of people here are very creative. So we try and, you know, show that throughout the magazine. And
Like with the art,
fashion.
or what do you mean by creative, and what senses of that?
Whether it's like, you know, whether someone does something in art, or, you know, whether it's music, dance, like, you know, writing, photography, anything along those lines.
What's the most unusual thing you've uncovered in your research about Santa Barbara?
Oh my gosh, there's so many things.
I mean, I remember
I'd say-
there used to be this thing called Dine in the Dark. I don't know if you ever did one of those where people...
No,
In fact,
I've
I was
heard
with
of it,
JP
though.
on that one.
Oh,
Were you at that?
I was there.
You were out there? Well, I couldn't tell. It was dark. You take a restaurant and they make it all black. You can't see anything. No lights or anything. And they just give you a spoon and say, okay, we're going to be putting food in front of you. Just see what you think it is. And it was very frisky.
It was.
Lots of people were fondling each other. I was fondling the food, but
And the waiters can see, because I
yeah, they have those night vision goggles.
Yeah.
Have you ever done one of those?
No, I haven't.
Can you imagine?
That
That's a
sounds so
wild thing in
interesting,
Santa
though.
Barbara. Now,
Yeah.
of course, we're a travel show, so we got to talk about some of the places to travel. And you do a lot of traveling. We were
Yes.
talking earlier about some of the places that are coming up on your horizon. But
I'm very
more
excited.
locally, you went up to Napa Valley.
Yes, to Auberge du Soleil.
I got married there.
You did?
That was one of my weddings. One of my weddings was on Auberge du Soleil. And that was like my second one. It was a long time ago.
Okay. And was it
Beautiful
was
place,
it a
too.
romantic place? Would you feel?
Yes, very romantic place. I mean, I went with one of my coworkers, but it is a very romantic place.
With the Michelin star restaurant, is it a 3-star or 2-star? Do you remember?
I don't remember.
I think it's 3-star now.
I don't remember,
not sure,
but
though.
I think, yeah, 3-star.
And I
Sounds
think
about
there was a
right.
connection for many years with the Auberge du Soleil owners, former owners. They had Piattis in Montecito.
Oh,
Really?
Yeah, a
That's
little
so
bit
neat.
of trivia.
Yeah, it's good
But
trivia.
that's
anyway,
interesting.
so now I understand you got more than just a room when you stayed there. You get a
Yes, you
something
get a
else.
Mercedes that you can just
No
drive
way.
around and
Isn't
take
that-
wine tasting.
Which it
Or
kind
could I
of
do
is sort of that somehow baffles me. Imagine someone handing you a card going, go and have
Go
some
wine
wine.
tasting at the car. Oh
And
my
yeah,
God.
brand new Mercedes, and don't mind if you crash.
Well,
No.
and they also, Auberge du Soleil, the hotel, is just steps away from the Rutherford Hill Winery. It's right, because it's in the little part of Napa that's called Rutherford.
Oh, so you can go and just
Fantastic.
walk over
You
and have a
can
drink.
walk across a little bit of a vineyard, and then there you're in the wine tasting room. So, yes, it's incredible.
So what kind of car did you get? What kind of Mercedes?
He's a
Or
car
what
guy.
was it? Was it a convertible?
Yes, it was
Oh,
a
how
convertible.
fun.
That's
It was
the
a
view.
convertible.
We can see
Oh,
the
it's
view.
beautiful. It looks gorgeous.
Ah, yes.
So in your little convertible, you went.
Yes.
Did you go wine tasting, or what'd you do?
I drove out to the coast,
Yeah.
like through the redwoods and out like along the coast.
Towards Bodega Bay.
Yes, towards the Bodega Bay.
Where they have oysters.
Yes.
Have you ever had the oysters out there?
Oh, yes.
Ooh,
they
they're
had
so
this.
good.
Oh, yes.
This big California.
Did you see any birds?
That's right, because that's where they shot Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds, too. Very good. Now, you also went to Santa Rosa, huh?
Yes.
I was born in the hospital there.
Yeah. Is it still standing?
Yes, it is Santa Rosa Memorial Hospital.
didn't burn.
I was raised there, so I know about that.
Yeah, sad about it. But you were there right after the fires, right?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
how was
during
that?
the fires here.
There were fires here, and you were up there
Right
past the fires, yeah.
I mean, the air up there was totally clean, so it was nice.
Did you see any burn parts on the drive from
Yes.
Napa to Santa Barbara?
Yeah, there was a
Rosa?
lot of roads where it's like, just like lined by homes where all that was left was the chimneys. But
Wow.
So
Yeah.
with your
Other than
magazine,
that-
do you get to travel a lot?
yes, I do. I just got back from Punta Mita. I'm going to Colorado next month. I'm going Southeast Asia in a few months.
Oh, how
Pretty
exciting.
great, huh?
Yeah.
And you went up
Paris
to
a couple months ago.
You went to Ojai,
Yes.
right? So tell us
Ojai.
about, Ojai is much closer to home here.
Yeah.
Where'd you go and what'd you do?
Well, I went to Ojai for Pixie season, which is right now. And we went to, I'm trying to think, some of my favorite spots. Beacon Coffee for like morning pastries with pixies. I went for a hike that was along Ventura River.
Wow.
And they had a nice watering hole.
And there was
that
water
fun.
in Ventura
Yes.
River. That's in
Yes.
itself an accomplishment.
A lot of
Were
water.
there any frogs?
Actually, less. Lots of tadpoles, actually.
How nice.
that's
I
so
love frogs.
I
They're
was
so
on a
cute.
trip last year to Ojai, and I covered it for the show at the Oaks, which is a health spa, really great one there. And what surprised me, there's this peaceful serenity that overcomes you, I felt, in Ojai. Did you feel that?
Yes, absolutely.
It's so different than Santa Barbara, and it's a different feeling.
It's got really nice vibes,
It's-
huh?
Oh yeah, it's very, like, it's almost spiritual,
Yeah.
that place. I don't,
It's so relaxed, and it's like even just like the way people drive, like the air, like obviously it smells amazing, and it seems so clean and so fresh.
Yeah, and they've got the best tasting citrus in the world up there between the Pixies, which are delicious, and if you go out to Friends, that place that's on Wheeler, going out towards Wheeler Hot Springs.
yes.
You've been to Friends, right? Did you stop there and get some of their fresh orange juice? Oh, awesome! Look at those Pixies. Look at those
the
cute little
pixies.
Pixies.
You know, that trip to Ojai inspired me. I've now planted 5 pixie trees in my property in Santa Barbara, and they are so in demand that I had to wait for them, for the nurseries, these online nurseries, to even get them. They sell out. So
Wow.
I'm going to be bringing you some pixies, hopefully one of these, probably years. The trees are small.
Oh, that's so great.
Oh,
So you're going to be on the road again. You're going to Colorado.
Yes.
And when you come back, we get you back on the show to talk a little bit about what you do. Are you like a rafting? Are you going to do a spa? What are you going to do?
Yeah, we're gonna do whitewater rafting, mountain biking, hiking, s'mores, fishing.
Oh, what a great trip. Is that with a tour?
Yes.
And,
Yes.
oh, that sounds really good because.
Or will you cover it in your magazine too?
Yes.
Oh,
wonderful.
fantastic.
Well,
Yeah.
good.
So we can see your trip in the
Yeah,
magazine.
can't wait.
Yes.
Now, if people want to get your magazine, they can get online, right?
Yes.
And the URL is,
sblifeandstyle.com.
right? And then if they want to subscribe to get the hard copy,
There's on our website. There's a subscribe
great. And
Tab.
then you get it delivered with it's quarterly, right? now, or-
bi-monthly.
Bi-monthly.
So every other
Oh,
month.
every 2
Yep.
months. Gotcha. Well,
Yep.
it's even better than a quarterly.
I love that. I can't wait. I'm going to be your next subscriber as soon as I get off the air because I
Thank you.
really want that magazine.
We're so thrilled to have you in town. Thank you for bringing some good life and style to Santa Barbara.
Yes.
Okay, we're going to take a break. When we come back, you know what we're going to do next? Should we go to Mexico next?
Yes.
Maybe Mexico. No, maybe we're going to go talk to the travel therapist first.
Oh, okay.
You know?
I will wait my turn.
You wait your
Thank
turn,
you.
okay? And you wait your turn. We're streaming live on the World Wide Web at www.atw.tv and also on Facebook Live. Thanks for watching. We'll be right back. And we're back here on Around the World. I'm Arthur von Wiesenberger. We have Rebecca Brand
Hi.
flying along on this beautiful aircraft. It's our most private plane where we occasionally get some great guests that join us on board. And we have got a great guest joining us now, Jeff Greif, who is has the townsquire.com, and he's also a travel therapist. I can't wait to do some shrinkage with Jeff. Hello, Jeff. How are you?
Hey, how are you? I'm great.
well-
Thanks for having me on today.
It's great to have you aboard, and you have so many fascinating stories and also some great ideas of places, some of the top destinations to go. But I gotta, if you don't mind, I wanted to get into one of the first things that I learned about you was that you used to weigh a bit more than you do today. Can you tell us a little about what happened and how you changed that as far as, I mean, when I travel, I put on weight, so I don't know how you travel and lose weight.
Really?
Well, I'll tell you. Okay, so I guess I went to Nolet Spirit's shindig of 325 years, and I had to rent a tuxedo. And then I found out that I couldn't get into any of the tuxedos at Bloomingdale's. I had to go to the men's warehouse, so I decided this is it. When I come back, I'm going to lose the weight. That's me in Amsterdam for that occasion. And I came back and I got on the diet, and I lost the weight. It took me about 18 months. It was on Weight Watchers. I started to Soul Cycle, and I started to do exercising and outdoor activities and hiking when I traveled. So I continue to travel, and I don't splurge at every meal when I'm away. I certainly partake in the cuisine, but I don't let it get carried away like I did before. And I lost 82 pounds.
Unbelievable.
Wow,
That is
Jeff,
terrific,
fantastic.
Jeff.
Thank you.
Is there anything you do today to maintain where you're at? I mean, have you cut like bread or sugar out of your life, or are those still there?
Well, I don't eat bread. I only eat bread in the morning, and I hardly ever ate sugar anyway. So I was just a volume eater. So I've learned to cut the portions, and I really keep to the Weight Watchers regimen. And I don't deprive myself. If I have a meal that I've gone off, I forgive myself afterwards, and I start the next meal. I don't wait till the next Monday or 2 months later, so it never gets out of control. And I weigh in at Weight Watchers once a month, so I'm always aware, and I tighten up if I have to on the eating if I see it's going north of the scale. So, and I've maintained the weight now about 6 months. I've been at the weight, so
that's terrific.
knock on wood.
Congratulations. I'm hoping to follow in your footsteps, so to speak.
That's me and my mother at the Easter parade, and that's me at my current weight.
Oh, that's incredible. That's great.
What therapy do you do?
Yeah, tell us how that works, because I love the idea of a travel therapist. What exactly is a travel therapist?
Well, everybody needs their 3 hours on the couch, and that goes with travel as well. Sometimes people just can't make a decision. They want to talk to somebody about it. I don't think you can get that on the internet. TravelSquire.com gives a lot of great information, but it doesn't help you make that decision. Sometimes you just want to talk to somebody, whether it's like, I want to go to a beach. Okay, which beach do you want to go to? Let's narrow that down. Let's narrow it down in the world. Or what hotel should I stay in? I'm thinking of these three. So it's like any therapist. You have 3 hours of time for $295, and it's good for a year, and you could use it for one call or as many calls as you want. And we have experts for every continent, and they're travel writers who travel a lot. So they're not, we're not making any money on booking anything. So it's all really good information, and people just usually know what they want to do. They just want the soundboard, and so that's kind of what the travel therapist is.
So I can see that really, like if you want to book a trip to like propose to somebody and you want to keep it secret from your, your partner or something.
Your mistress. You don't want to tell your mistress about it. Yes. Yeah.
Well, we don't do any booking. We can certainly help lead them in the direction to book, but really,
yeah, but to help them find what's would be the romantic spots, right? You would help them like, oh.
Yeah, well, we take a personality profile, so we know, like, are they a hipster? Do they like to stay in hip hotels? Do they like to stay in luxury hotels? What's their travel style? And then based on that, we give them a lot of recommendations. And, what we find is, like with any therapist, the person really solves the problem themselves because they've already got an idea. You just have to get them there, and that's kind of what our advisors do.
Wow. Now, so that sounds like it'd be very useful because you want a friend to be giving you objective recommendations. But most friends don't know everything in the world. But you've got a bunch of resources with trusted travel journalists and travelers who can really chime in. Jeff, let me ask you, I know you've got some of the best destinations for different reasons around the world for this year. Let's explore, because we're talking about weight, first of all, and losing weight. Sometimes people think if you cut out meat and heavy-duty food like that, maybe going more towards a vegan or vegetarian diet, that might be a way to go. Are there destinations that cater to a vegan or vegetarian lifestyle?
Yeah, there are definitely vegan destinations. We just actually very recently, a couple of weeks ago, did a story on vegan destinations, and certainly one that we didn't cover because it's an obvious, or two that we didn't cover that are Los Angeles and New York in the U.S., and India is a great vegan destination for outside of the country. But our story was about the top 5 vegan, when was it 5 or 6 vegan cities in the U.S. So we covered San Francisco, Philadelphia, Fort Lauderdale, surprisingly so, New Orleans, Asheville, North Carolina, and Kansas City. And, you know, being vegan or vegetarian doesn't preclude not having great taste. A lot of these restaurants that we profiled have bars, full bars where you can get cocktails, and some have like a very, very good mixologists on staff. So it isn't what people thought of maybe 10 years ago, where the food was all vegetables. It's a lot of soy protein and plant proteins and really innovative things. And if you're a desserty, there's also all kinds of great desserts.
Wow. All right. Now, another section which caught my eye, which is interesting, is 5 gay-friendly honeymoon destinations.
Cool.
What would you recommend for a gay couple that wants to go on a honeymoon somewhere that they'll really enjoy it?
Well, I mean, gay-friendly honeymoon destinations can be anywhere now. I mean, I think the world is a very open place now, and people are packaging things in really interesting ways. Stateside, I think there's a lot of there's obviously Fort Lauderdale, Florida is very big, and Las Vegas is very big, catering to the gay marriages. And also, if you want to look internationally, Buenos Aires has a great scene that's very, very very gay-friendly. We included in our story Thailand. There's a Phuket cleanse, detox, and fitness destination where we're talking to the LGBT community. Spain is very, very open. I think it's the #1 destination in the world. New Zealand, Portugal, and even a destination as strange as Malta has very top rankings within Europe for a gay-friendly nation, and it has a lot of 5-star honeymoon offerings.
And I've been to Malta.
Oh, you have?
Yeah.
You've been to Malta?
Yeah, I'm not gay, but I had a great time there.
Yeah, and it's also healthy there. You know, you can probably lose weight. The Mediterranean diet, you can't lose there. In fact, that's my summer destination. You know, I'm going to go to Greece because you just can't go wrong with fish and salad, right?
You're right. Yeah, and Malta is one of those amazing destinations where you see these buildings that were built, I don't know how many hundreds of years ago, thousands of years ago, but it looks like you're on a movie set from some incredible, Roman feature. It's spectacular.
Beautiful. So
and the water's warm.
They can see these things on your website. We can find out like the gay destinations and the healthy places and the vegan destinations. All these are stories that they just go to your website and they can find that.
Yeah. So if you go to travelsquire.com, we have a great robust search engine in there. The vegan story is actually on the homepage right now, and it lists 5 restaurants in each of those 6 destinations that we recommend. We have a vegan writer who wrote it, so I really trust her.
Wow, that sounds so good. Well, Jeff, we really appreciate you taking the time today to share those insights, and we'll hope you'll come back on again. Maybe next time we can talk about your 20 or so top destinations around the world, 2018.
28, yeah, that would be great. And, I would love to come and visit you in Santa Barbara. That should be on my bucket list.
Come on out here. You definitely got to come out here, and we'll take you to some good restaurants, too. Maybe there might be a few caloric ones, too. But anyway, they're great stuff.
Well, I'll do 5 Soul Cycle classes before I come up from LA. How's that?
That's a good idea.
Get some fresh
air. It's all about balance, right?
It's all about balance. Thanks so much, Jeff. And again, check it out. TravelSquire.com is a website to see. And we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to go to Mexico with Rebecca. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. everyone. Wiesenberger, thanks for watching. This is Rebecca Brand next to me. Thank you for
Hola,
your
senor.
beautiful outfit that looks like it came from Mexico.
Mexico.
That's
Oaxaca.
great. It's a Oaxaca colors.
It's
great.
Oaxaca inspired, yes.
Very sunny, very much the Mexican. Is that Mexican earrings too?
No, but they
kind of go with
they
it.
seem to go.
Yeah.
They seem to have-
So you just took off. You flew from LA?
Just got back less than a week ago. Flew from LA directly through Valaris Airlines direct. It was only 4 hours to get there, which was amazing.
Valaris is the one that's owned by Carlos Slim. That's his airline.
Okay. Very good.
And did you like it?
Well, it was okay, pretty basic.
Tell them what you think.
Well,
Carlos, I don't think she liked
sorry,
Valaris.
Carlos. It was okay, but there was no Wi-Fi for 4 hours, and there wasn't even a plug to keep my stuff charged. And
how about food?
Seats
How about
were
drinks?
thin. I don't know. No.
Seats were thin? Oh my
Yeah,
God.
kind of thin padded. I don't know.
What kind of aircraft was it?
I think it was probably a really good deal because I was in coach. It was a good deal. It was I don't know. It was a plane, and it wasn't that big. Like
Did it have propellers?
it was 2 seats on each aisle.
2 seats on each
2
aisle.
seats on each aisle,
So it was a small plane.
Small plane.
Ooh.
And then we
Anyway.
came back
On the same one?
on I think with Delta.
Oh, well, they're ready when you
Into
are.
Dallas, but it took us 9 hours because you had to stop and wait and get to the next one. So I like the 4-hour cheap flight, and
Yeah.
that was okay.
All right.
That was good.
So it was a direct from LA. And
Yes, direct.
what is the airport like? Because I've never been to that airport. Is
It's
it a
filled-
small, big?
It's very beautifully small, easy, filled with gorgeous art. So you arrive in Oaxaca and you've arrived to the most beautiful statues, the beautiful colors of all the art. It was really, the airport itself was outstanding with art. That was really neat to arrive to that.
And you've got video of all of it, right?
I do.
All right. What do you think? Should we roll the video?
Roland Dano.
Roll 'em.
Hi, I'm Rebecca Brand, and I've been visiting Oaxaca, Mexico. We hired a tour guide. It was academictoursoaxaca.com.
Hola, hi, I'm Florencio.
He drove us around all over the streets of Oaxaca and the outlying areas to go see wonderful art. I'm in the town of Yanhuiclan, which is about an hour and a half away from the central of Oaxaca. In the center of the town is a 16th century church. It's the largest and most ambitious of all the Catholic churches around. In this tiny village of only 600 people, apparently they built it where they thought would be an epicenter, but it wasn't. But it's still a beautiful place to go see and look at the vistas that surround it. The purpose of my trip is to go see the beautiful art. Manuel Reyes is an acclaimed artist in this town. His house is his art studio that he gives tours of. His art is everywhere. He does all pottery work and some oil paintings. His whole garden was filled with beautiful masks, even a kitty cat. I got to see some of his pottery as he just finished as it was drying. And in his studio, you could see also his paintings. And look at that bathroom. I've never seen a bathroom like that in my life. He's been doing art his entire life and has created an amazing collection in his home. Maricela Gomez is his lovely wife who created this wonderful lunch for us today. The lunch consisted of beautiful chile relleno homemade with shredded chicken in it, surrounded with this rojo red tomato sauce on rice. She also created a homemade cheese that we served on our homemade tortillas. I am doing tours around Oaxaca in order to find the best art I can. And then it was off to our next stop where we entered this beautiful courtyard of an artist that did all kinds of sculpture. I was able to get up close to one of his sculptures of this amazing elephant. He had all kinds of sculptures, including a little snail cart with a child on top running it. How cute that was. Pantaleon Ruiz told us about his inspiration and how he created each of these sculptures. They were just amazing and they were so whimsical. His whole family works at this great studio. His grandmother was making yarn the day we came. She was using paddles to create yarn from wool. His sister was also helping in the process. The looms were amazing. This is where they weave all the rugs and other art items they sell. And there is a whole wing of them in this amazing studio. They also made their own handmade dyes from different flowers and fruits and organic materials in the area. The colors were fantastic that they got from these natural materials. Our next stop was a printmaking studio. It was a fantastic room where printers came to print out what artists had carved into wood and panels to make these magnificent prints. They used many different processes to come up with these bright, bright colors, but it all starts with the print machines. They are huge heavy industrial machines, you would have to crank those to get it tight enough to roll over a piece of paper for every single application of color. We saw the containers of each of those terrifically pigmented paints and the tools they used to carve. The roller assortment was immense because you just never know what kind of roller you need, especially if you're using an old-fashioned hand crank press. Seeing the process of it coming onto these papers one color at a time, and then the artist's notes of what he needs to do next was inspiring. I never knew so much work went into making these prints. All the prints are limited. They don't make many. The master printmaker showed us one of his carvings on metal, and then he showed us this amazing piece of art. It's really a masterpiece. That piece of art goes for around $10,000. It is so intricate with detail. Then off to dinner to Los Danzantes we went. An amazing architectural restaurant, gorgeous. It had stone walls and then a water pond within the restaurant. So you would eat next to that. But you looked up and you saw it was open air until they closed it with these amazing awnings, and at the tip of the awnings, waterfall would come, if it rained, right down to the pond. The food is spectacular. Oaxaca is known for the finest of Mexican food anywhere in the country. During the trip, we had so many prefixed dinners that came in courses of 5 to 7. My favorite dish at this restaurant was a chile relleno with the chicharrones. Look at that. Guess what that is? Can you make it out? You would be right if you said grasshopper or cricket. That's exactly what that is. And then came the coconut shrimp with something near it. I don't think that's risotto. Whatever it was delicious. And then I recognized the halibut. That was pretty tame compared to the rest of the dinner. We stayed in an old 16th century charming building. The hotel was Casa de Sierra Azul. Every morning I'd go downstairs and order my latte and sit in this beautiful courtyard with a running fountain. And the sunshine and the weather was fantastic. What a way to start the day. Then off to the mercado. That was my favorite stop. I just love shopping, and there is so many interesting things to shop for. The fruits and vegetables were amazing. I'd never seen so many beautiful, ripe, tropical fruits in my life. And then I had to pull out a stack of tomatoes, perfectly displayed. Thank goodness I didn't spill. And the meat aisle. Unbelievable how many cuts of meat they had just hanging there from the rafters. It was so interesting. I've never seen anything like it. Then there was the liver, the heart, and all that tripe, and the cow's leg with the hoof. That was pretty interesting. I had to take a good look. And then more tripe. A lot of recipes in Mexico include the tripe. After enjoying all the varieties of the meats, came the chickens, all dressed up for company, with all their buddies lined up. It seemed like forever, with their feet hanging over the counter. Oh my goodness. Well, it's great to know that all that chicken is going to get used. What a display. And huge bowls of shrimpies of every sort. But my favorite items at the mercados was the worms. I bought this necklace. Can you imagine that? I wore the necklace at lunch, and I had a bite of one. I just pick it off and you eat it, and it's spicy. I saw all the different kinds of crickets they sell. They had the large crickets, and then they had the medium, and then they had the small. I got a whole cup of those crickets to take home. That was amazing. And at my lunch stop, I had to try one out. I couldn't get enough of them. They were amazing. Spicy, salty, delicious. You have to try it. They also used it to crumble up and put salt in it and put on the edge of glasses all over Oaxaca. That was pretty fun. There was also a pet store at the mercado, and they had the most darling guinea pigs, but I kind of wondered, are they for pet purposes? I smelled a rat. The tropical fish, though, were amazing. The lion's fish and the jellyfish, I've never seen anything as beautiful like that in the aquarium. And the weavers. These two ladies were weaving all these baskets. They were just gorgeous. I can't believe they were hand woven. Then I meandered over to the dress department. What handiwork I saw. The embroidery was beautiful, and I had to buy one. So I picked one out. I'm going to wear that at Santa Barbara Fiesta. I just love the skirt. Then it was time to have some mezcal to celebrate. Another 5-star lunch. How do they do it? Look at this. They presented a smoked pork dish. When they opened the glass, you got to smell that mesquite wood. It was absolutely delicious. The desserts were amazing. Of course, we had to have Mexican chocolate. And then one more mezcal taste for the road. The center of Oaxaca was an amazing Catholic church from the 16th century. It was tremendous. It was positioned right next to the square, so you could walk to the church, take a look around, and then enter the plaza for all the activity. People just rested and hung around, and at night it came alive. Off to dinner we went again for another fantastic restaurant as we watched the sunset over that church. Outdoor dining is so perfect because the weather's so great in Oaxaca. Our waiter created our salsa right at our table. It was so fun to see the ingredients and how it all came together. And served with a basket of fresh-made yam and potato chips, this completed the dish. And at nightfall, we were entertaining with fireworks. And then down to the square we went for more music and more frivolity. This was a great trip to Oaxaca, Mexico, home of great food, great art, and great dancing. I'm Rebecca Brandt, this guide to my channel, and let's keep going. Great places around the world. Adios, mis amigos.
What a terrific video! My gosh, Rebecca, you did
And
great.
Arthur.
What is that?
These are the worms.
For going fishing?
No, to try. And I brought you some grasshoppers too to try. They're like little peanuts.
Oh, okay. Well, let me try.
You gonna eat one? He did. He actually ate one.
Oh, they're kind of tasty.
They're
I think.
salty and they're
Yeah,
spicy.
and spicy. Yeah, not bad.
And then guess what this is?
What is that? Yeah, how do you,
This is crushed up worm salt.
Ah.
And then you put this on the top of your margaritas,
Yeah.
and it's delicious.
Wow.
It's spicy. It's like, uh-oh. It's really spicy. It's hot. But yes, so I had a great time, and so I tasted new things I've never tried before. And now my next Fiesta party, I'm going to wear my little worm necklace, and if you get hungry, you pull them off and you eat them. Little snacks.
Unbelievable. You saw it first here and around the world. I don't.
There's all new candy restaurant, candy necklaces. These are the worm necklaces.
Okay, I'll go for the candy next time. All right, that was a beautiful video. Thank you, and thanks for sharing
Yeah,
it
it was
with
really
us.
fun.
It
Had a
looks like
great
it was a
time.
great trip and a lot of great art too. All right, we're going to take a break. You know, when we come back, we're going to do something totally different, where they have no worms, well, unless you go fishing. They have no grasshoppers, unless you go hiking. But they have things like fondue.
Oh, well, that must be something with Swiss cheese.
Do you feel a yodel coming on? That's right, folks. We're going to be going to Switzerland next. We're going to Laukerbad in the Valley Canton of Switzerland.
Liquor ball. We got a liquor ball.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back. And we're back here on Around the World. I can't believe it. We're coming out to the end already. It's gone by so fast, but we've got one more stop to go. And it's kind of a good stop after you've had all that wonderful food, and you've done some traveling up to Ojai and to Napa, and we've talked to our therapist.
Mexico, and had therapist talk.
So now it's time to kind of chill out in a nice spa. And sometimes the best spas in the world are in Switzerland. They really know how to take water and turn it into something that will be so healthful, and routines and treatments and so forth, that you come away feeling much better than you did when you started. Hydrotherapy and balneology was a big deal in Europe for many, many years, and the Swiss really perfected it, like the Germans in a way, and the French.
For health purposes.
For health, it's for health. And there's one place in the Valais canton of Switzerland, which is in the southern part of Switzerland. If you travel through Switzerland, you probably are closest to Geneva when you get to the Valais region. So you could fly into Geneva, take the train along the Rhone Valley, and Laukerbad is a box canyon that you go up to at about 4,000 foot elevation.
Wow.
Once you're up there, you're surrounded by these towering peaks. And the most important part is you've got water, this geothermal water coming out of the rocks.
So it can be freezing cold and snow everywhere, but you've got warm water erupting from the earth.
Right. And when it's freezing cold, there is skiing there as well. I went there in the summertime, and I think Switzerland is one of those magical destinations in the summertime. It's not as crowded, and you have these beautiful resorts, and of course you've got wonderful weather and sunshine, which you sometimes have in the winter as well, but in the summer it's just unbelievable. Any case, Laukerbad is a place to go and maybe taste the magic, eat the food, drink the water, maybe a little bit of Swiss wine as well. The Valais wines are very good. And
fondue.
And fondue, or fondant, we don't know. Anyway, we've got a little video here, and let's take a look at it. This is Laukerbad.
Switzerland, Europe's ceiling to summertime fun. From hiking along rushing waterfalls and ravines, to biking across mountaintop ridges, golfing into alpine panoramas and soaring between towering peaks. From diving into pristine lakes to indulging into luscious cuisine, Switzerland offers a world of spectacular summertime adventures. Laukerbad is nestled in a box canyon of soaring mountains in the Valais canton of Switzerland. Accessible by car or bus, the town is at 4,600 feet. In the winter, there's skiing behind the surrounding cliffs. In the summer, there's hiking and mountain biking. But the most unique aspect of Laukerbad is the natural thermal mineral waters.
Well, having water that high up in the mountain is not so special, but having it coming up warm with 51 degrees Celsius, which means 123 degrees Fahrenheit, makes it very special, and it actually comes up automatically without doing anything since ages and ages. Actually, we even found Roman coins proving that even the Romans were using the hot water in Laukerbad. That's making it definitely special, and we have almost 4 million liters of it coming up every day, naturally full of minerals. In total, we got 4 public pools, 4 public centers, and then we got also 4 hotels, 4 and 5-star hotels, who even have the private thermal spas only for their clients. So you see there is a huge variety of choosing your thermal spa in Laukerbad. The second biggest is the Wallaces Alban Therme and Spa, which is a very stylish wellness temple. You got the thermal water, inside pool, outside pool, water cool down, because we have to cool it down before you can jump in, to 36 degrees, and there you've got already a fantastic panorama from the outside pool on the surrounding mountains. So only that is already worth coming up to Laukerbad, having the fresh air, the high alpine mountain scenery, and the healthy hot thermal water to relax in. It's very healthy for the bones, so the water is perfect for rheumatism. Well, even better, sit in the water now and you will never get rheumatism afterwards. So very good for the bones, which makes it perfect for all diseases or treatments which has to do with the bones. Also after an injury, an accident for example, you don't come here for the operation, but after the operation, for the rehabilitation, the water is just perfect to do the trainings, the therapy in the water. It's warm water, it's healthy to strengthen the bones during the therapy, so it has many effects at the same time.
So the biggest spring is just on the village square, actually centrally in Laukerbad, and that's why the center is also here, because there the most water comes out, which it has a volume of 900 liters per minute, every minute, and it's 51 degrees Celsius hot, so 123 Fahrenheit, so you could boil eggs in it.
We built a walkway into our canyon, very spectacular, passing then most of that springs, also the little springs, so you get very close to nature and water, and you do see some natural hot springs getting out of the rocks, as well as being very close to our fresh water that comes eternally down. So the highlight is then the suspending bridge and the big waterfall that gives inspiration not only to riders.
This is the Irish Roman baths at Alton Spa here in Laukerbad. Now what makes this really cool, and we're talking Irish Roman, not like Guinness and pasta, but we're talking about ancient traditions where they've used spas and saunas and salt rubs, all to help you get feeling better. But what really works is this amazing water here in Laukerbad. This geothermal water has minerals in it that go into your body. They help your joints. They help your health. I mean, you feel so good after being here. You want to run up the mountain, or maybe have a little Guinness and some pasta.
The Jemmy cable car takes one to the Jemmy Pass, historically the route between the Valais and Béarn. From the top of the pass at 7,600 feet, the views of the Alps are awe-inspiring. Here, one can take hiking trails to the Dobensee Lake, picnic there, or have lunch at the Cable Car Restaurant. The village of Laukerbad has a couple of thousand year-round residents. There's some excellent wining and dining options too, especially the Wild House Hotel and Restaurant, where in the spring and summer, juicy white asparagus are on the menu.
Exactly around fish time in springtime, just before the summer is coming. And especially here in the valley, we have a lot of Wiesenbergers. And what especially, because they're totally covered the ground, and when they're ready to get them, you have to dig them out. They're so nice, juicy. You can have it with vinaigrette or with mayonnaise and with ham and with every kind of things.
Other specialties include croûte or fromage with ham and egg and rosti potatoes.
Enjoy your meal.
Thank you. The powerful mountains from Laukerbad actually is because of the energy, you know that, the weather, the persons, the culture also, and actually I feel the mountains. I feel all actually, and like the song, the Ed Sheeran actually. I see fire inside the mountains. I see fire. Actually, it's like that. Laukerbad place is Laukerbad. Laukerbad is really a powerful place. Laukerbad is really powerful. Really powerful.
I feel healthy already. Do you feel healthier now?
I do, and had a beautiful piece.
Oh,
Gosh, it
thank
really
you.
had so much feeling, and I just felt like so relaxing. I want to go there now. It's
Well,
so
if you
lovely.
want to know more about it, there's a great website, which is myswitzerland.com, which will give you all the information about Laukerbad and other spas and activities and things to do in Switzerland. And the other thing that I want to make sure you know is that if you traveled in Switzerland, sometimes the best way to get around is on Swiss Rail. And there is the Swiss Rail Pass, which is just terrific.
So then you can just look out the window and see the scenery.
The Swiss Travel Pass will get you all over Switzerland, and it gets you into about 500 attractions, including museums and art galleries and all that.
With the Rail Pass?
It's all part of the same. Yeah, it's called the Swiss Travel Pass, and it's a really good thing to get. But you got to get it before you go, especially preparing for the States. You know, I can't believe it. It's time to cool our jets. It's been such a great trip, and I want to thank all of our guests that came on around the world this week. Jeff Grief up in New York, our travel squire, and of course your trip to Mexico was delightful. And a special thanks to Adesina Ryan, who's with us, who took us to the Santa Barbara Life and Style magazine. Got some nice little experiences on your travel section in both Ojai and Napa, and can't wait to see what you're going to have next time in your magazine.
Thank you.
And thank you all for watching, and remember, we're always on Around the World at atw.tv, the first place to go, even if it's the last place on earth, as well as Channel 17, which is TVSB. We want to thank our director, Michael Nicholson, and our assistant director, Ken Baxter. Next week, we'll see you here on Around the World. Meantime, we wish you happy trails.
Bye. Adios.